Broadcasting live in 185 countries, 6 3/4 continents, on the International Space Station, and carried on both Voyager Golden records. It's the Weekly Rumble, where we place 4 YouTubers in a cage with a live lion. Oh, wait, that's not how this works? The Weekly Rumble, where we pit the wits and opinions of 4 YouTubers against each other. Well, Chris Knight dishes out the points, or takes them away. Without further BS, here is your host, Chris Knight.
What's up, everyone? I am Chris Knight. This is The Real Review 3000, and it's another Weekly Rumble. And as always, I'm going to bring our panelists in. We are missing one currently. We will get them in here as soon as they get there. So to start, we're going to stall. We're going to stall just a minute. We're going to let you guys tell everybody where they can find you. Take a little bit of time. And once you see Danny pop in, then speed it up. Okay. Okay, guys. So real quick, we'll go through and everybody just introduce yourself, and then we'll get to the rules and so on and so forth and get on with this shindig. First off, next to me right here, and if I remember right, I have to point that way. See? I have to point the opposite direction there, and I don't know. Yeah, you see? That's right. So, this is Mads, MamaBear Mads. Please go tell everybody about yourself, where they can find you, and all that fun stuff.
Hey, actually, this is a great day for that, too. Hey, Mads. It's Mads MamaBear here. You can find me at Mads MamaBear on both Twitter and on YouTube. And tonight, you can also find me on According to Christie's channel right after this, where we'll be doing the Queen's Council, which is lots of fun. We're always talking all sorts of random topics, girls' perspective, loads of fun. Check it out afterwards.
Well, that's great. Yeah, no, I hear a lot of people talk good stuff about that. So, guys, go check that out after this is over. Up next, I'm going to introduce the person who is newest and has not done this yet. We're going to go down below me. This is Phalon of Phalon Reacts. Please, Phalon, tell everybody where they can find you, what you're all about, all that fun stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, as it was said, I'm Phalon of Phalon Reacts. I do reactions, reviews. I do some gaming, just general pop culture commentary. You can also find me at Twitter, which is twitter.com/Phalon Reacts. I just comment on whatever BS at the time. I am also working on a project where I am compiling a list for everyone on YouTube, not just the Fandom Collective, not just the Fandom Menace. Everyone can find YouTubers to stream with, their times, their subjects, about everything.
Very cool.
Indeed. I'm soon to be on that list, or I am on this list now, even though I sent it very confusingly to you because there's tons of stuff to put in there.
Big shock.
John's going to say, well, that's normal, so whatever.
I'm surprised it was in English. I mean,
it was, I think. I'd have to go back and check. Okay, up next, last but not least so far right now, is Shaun Stackhouse Reacts. Shaun, tell everybody where they can find you, what you're about, all that fun stuff.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find me, Shaun Stackhouse Reacts, on YouTube, and Shaun Stackhouse on Twitter. And my channel is better than Chris's.
That's what he always says. That's it. Okay, guys, do me a favor. I always ask everybody to please tweet this out. If you want to, you can just retweet what I have, which is at chrisknight5150. You can go there, or I guess as Phalon put it, twitter.com/chrisknight5150. You can go there and you can just retweet the post that I put out about this. But you can also retweet the post I put out about these. These are 3 books that I'm giving away if I make it to 1,000 subscribers by April 12th, 2020, or for Ords, if he's watching, April 20th, 2020. Since he told me I should do that, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? 8 more days, who cares? But guys, if you can help me get to 1,000 subscribers, these books will be given out to somebody that is on the wheel of names for that contest, which is currently up to like 100 people. So you guys have been helping me out a lot. But at chrisknight5150, you go there, tweet out or retweet the pinned post on there and like it, and your name too will be put on the wheel of names for that contest. So we're still waiting on Danny. And I guess what we'll do is we will spin the wheel and we'll do all that fun stuff and hope that by the time we get to that, he is here. So the wheel of names for this particular time is, of course, we have the four of you, and we're going to see who is going to go first. And if it's Danny, well, then he's going last. You see, this is how it works every time. Like, he's not here. So this is how this is going to work. We're going to take his name off there. He will start the fifth question. He does not know it, but he will. So we're going to see between the three of you, which one of you starts first. I'm hoping Mads, it's you. But it's going to be Shaun.
Oh,
actually, okay. And actually, look at that. Here is Danny. Danny, you should have just in time. You were spun to start the whole thing. So we will go ahead and I'll put Shaun's name back on there and we can have him come up later. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to spin the wheel of topics. Then we will spin the wheel of time. Danny, you are starting first. And your first topic okay. So the first topic is our comic book movies on the way out. Really quick, for those of you who do not know the rules, we'll get to that really quick. I forgot to do that. That's my fault. Give me a week off and see what happens. So the rules are each of my guests here today and myself picked out 2 topics, and those 2 topics all get put on the wheel of topics. That's 10 topics. 5 topics get picked randomly by the wheel of topics. Then there's a wheel of time. Each time is 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. If the 4 or 5 minute time gets picked, it gets removed from the board so we can speed things up. There is also a 10-second response time for each panelist after the original responder gives his or her response to the question. Each panelist gets 1 mulligan. That 1 mulligan can be used in one of 2 ways. One, it can add time to their time, or it can take time away, up until the max, which is 5 minutes, or down until the minimum, which is 1 minute. But that can be used at any time. Once it is used, it is gone, and they cannot reuse it again. So, Danny, are you ready to find out how much time you have to talk?
I am.
Okay. The wheel of time. It is spinning. Talk.
I am. Okay. Yes.
He's so happy right about that. Okay, 1 minute is going to go on the timer. And timer real quick here. Okay, so the first question, of course, Danny, do you want to use your mulligan?
I do not.
Okay, so 1 minute is on the board. The question is, are comic book movies on the way out? Your time starts now.
My response is no, they are not. Right here in my very room, I just got 3 comic books right in front of me. They are The Year of the Villain. There is so much source material that comic book movies can never, ever, ever go out as long as someone treats them with respect. All they got to do is find a good story, find the actors to go ahead and plug it in. There's unlike what Kathleen Kennedy says, there's no source material for Star Wars. There's plenty of source material for comic books. So just pick whatever interesting DC storyline you like, whatever interesting Marvel or combination of them 2, and you can keep on turning them out. I keep hearing people talking about Marvel fatigue or DCU fatigue. No, as long as the story is interesting, as long as it has action, as long as it has eye candy, people are going to sit their butts in the seat and watch it. So no, Marvel movies or comic book movies are nowhere near being done.
Okay, well, that's pretty short and sweet. So 10 points because this should be an easy point for everybody. It's a yes or no question. So, yeah. Up next, Matt, you are next. Would you like to use your mulligan?
Same topic?
Yeah, same
topic.
Yep. Are comic book movies out on the way out? Would you like to use your mulligan?
No, not at all.
Okay. Does anybody have anything to add to his response? No. Okay. All
How
right.
does she know she don't use a mulligan? She ain't spun her time yet.
No, everybody gets 1 minute.
What?
Yeah, that's how it works. One time for the whole time. Everybody gets 1 minute. It hasn't been that long since. Listen, we all took a week off. Come on, Pete. You take a week.
More than a week. for me.
Everybody's like, no. The topic, the time are the same for everybody. So your question, all four of you, is our comic book movies on the way out. Your time is 1 minute for everyone. And if you want to use your mulligan, you can, but you do not want to use it, right, Mads?
No, I don't want to use it.
Okay, so your time starts now.
Honestly, I don't believe comic book movies will ever truly go out of style. I know they went through a large period where they actually had, or where they weren't, as popular, but they were still. So a lot of the times they were still going. Everybody needs something to believe in it, and that's really the whole basis of comic book movies or comic books. It's the modern day mythology, the proverbial or literal in this case, Superman. The old days they had the mythology stories of Hercules. Trying to remember other names for this great Xerxes. All of that. That's what these are at this point. I one of these days I will, down the road, maybe the whole idea will morph into something else. But at this point, this is our mythology. This is the stuff that we believe in and what we pass on to our kids.
All right. Yeah. No, I do agree with that. 10 points for you too. At this point right now, if you can prove you're breathing and alive on this question, I'll probably give you 10 points. So Sean's probably going to not get any points. So, anyways, I got to dig at him. I mean, we dig at each other. He's going to say something bad about being here.
I want to add something real quick. Get 10 seconds to that.
Yes, you got your 10 seconds right now. If you'd like to add something, go ahead.
Another reason why it's not going to, because as special effects improve, that's only going to make comic book movies even more exciting than it already is. That's why it was a little low, because the special effects hadn't caught up with what comic books are now. Now it's catching up. It's going to be better than ever.
I can agree with that. I'll give you a point for the add-on there. Okay. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. So up next, Shaun. Would you like to use your mulligan?
I don't think so.
Okay, your time starts now.
So I don't think comic book movies are going to ever fully go out, but especially right now, sort of like Danny said, the special effects are getting better and better. And my only concern is that they don't rely more on special effects than they do on scripts. As long as the scripts are good, I think that comic book movies have a bright future, because there was so much to pull from. I mean, Superman alone goes back to, I think, 1938. So, and they haven't even really done a deep dive on his mythology movie wise. So there's like so much to explore if they want to adapt the comic books. And hopefully that's what J.J. Abrams will do instead of writing his own scripts. Because, I mean, there's just, like I said, in DC alone, there's way too much stuff to really ignore comic book wise. And as far as Marvel goes, I mean, you couldn't have made the Avenger movies until recently. I mean, they would have just looked horrible with practical effects. So, no, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. I don't disagree, but because I don't like you, you're going to have no points. No, I'm kidding. You're going to give you 10 points there. You made some good points there. I really do agree with the Avengers statement. That would have just not gone.
Can you imagine Thanos being practical like a dude in a costume? That would have just been horrible.
Well, I will say this about that. With Mystique and how they did her, yes, they used CGI for the changing and stuff, but they probably could have. I mean, no, it would not have looked.
Thanos are completely different characters with different power sets, though.
Yes, but I'm just saying I could see it being done. No, wouldn't it be the full realization? No, of course not.
But he'd have like totally legit looked like Grimace from McDonald's.
A pear-shaped purple thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Good point. You know what? Heck, you know what? That made me laugh. I'll give you a point for that right there. Anybody have anything to add for Shaun there? Anything to his points? No? Okay. Phalon, are you ready?
Alrighty.
Would you like to use your mythical mulligan. No, you would not. Okay, here you go. Your time starts now.
Okay, honestly, I do agree with what they were saying about how there's no reason for comic books to go out of style unless, and this people are going to be going, what? They have to stop giving us the same story over and over and over. There are so many times we can watch Uncle Ben die. There are so many times we can have to sit through the Phoenix Saga again, that we can see Batman's parents die over and over and over. I think that y'all were right about the whole, there's a ton of content, but as long as they keep being repetitive and giving the same stories over and over, people will get bored of that. That's all I gotta say about that.
Oh, you got 13 seconds. How about this? Okay, it brought up a good question there. There's only so many times you can see Uncle Ben die. How about this? Rumor is that Magneto could be cast as an African American. Can you rewrite I'm going to ask you this real quick. Can you rewrite somebody's origin completely?
Yes.
Can you?
Well, if it's going to be a complete alternate universe, but you're also taking away everything that formed Magneto. He was the survivor of the Holocaust. You're taking that important aspect of his history away.
I'm going to give you a point for that. See, because I kind of think that, I mean, I can see that you can change it, but it's really asking a lot to have a bunch of people who have grown up with Magneto the way he is and completely change everything from the beginning. Anybody else have anything to add?
Yeah. I think that unless you're doing a period piece, it's going to be hard to continue Magneto as per his comic book roots, because I mean, if you are a Holocaust survivor now, you're going to be like super, super old. And there is nothing in his origin story that suggests that he is immortal or anything like that, or forever young, So I just don't know how you would get around that.
But how does it automatically mean that because the movie's out, let's say 2022, does that mean that's the year it takes place? Or are we going to do?
Well, like I said, unless it's actually a period piece, and
but you wouldn't call a comic book movie a period piece, would you?
Sure. I mean, a lot of people are calling Wonder Woman 84 a period piece.
See, I don't buy that. That to me,
Wonder Woman itself was called.
You could do it because they done it in the Batman series. It was Batman. Now it's Batman with Terry. So you could do it as Batman get older and dies, and Terry's going to take over the Batman.
Yeah, that's within the universe. He's talking about now. And that going back, I don't think period piece applies to comic book movies. Although that's a question we can bring up on Sunday, and we'll bring that up here in a little bit because I like that question, Sean. That is really good to bring up. Okay, guys, I went ahead and gave everybody 11 points. You guys did great for that first one. It was only 1 minute, so it's going to get harder from here. Okay, but, All right, we're going to go ahead. Up next, Madge, you're going to start the next round, and we're going to spin and see what the lovely wheel has for the rest of us. The next question, guys. Okay. Is Sonic the Hedgehog the best adaptation of a video game to movie ever? And we'll take ever out. Is it one of the best movie adaptations of a video game? And support your answer. So with that said, we get to see how long we get to talk about it. Everybody's wishing that it's not 5 minutes, or everybody's mulligan's going to probably go away.
How are you going to support your answer when this is a subjective question?
That's how you support it. You explain why you believe that.
Can I interject real quick?
Sure.
On this question? I haven't seen the movie yet, so.
I haven't either. So it is kind of one of those things. It go by what you've heard, maybe.
Okay.
You need to spin another one, Dan.
What?
That's going to be unfair.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, how is she
spin another
question?
Because that's going to be unfair.
Okay. I mean, it's a subjective question, anyways. But
I mean, how are you gonna defend whether or not it's one of the best comic book or video game adaptations if you've not seen it?
Based off of certain things, I mean, you can take it as that, but we go ahead and spin again. I don't care.
Go log in that question.
That's fine. Since it's my question, I'm more than willing to do that. Okay. Which fandom universe would you want to live in? Which fandom universe would you want to live in? We've already spun the 4 minutes. Well, that's what you guys are going to get. I'm going to take the 4 minutes off too because it got spun. So, which fandom universe would you want to live in? And 4 minutes is going to go on the clock here as soon as I get to it. And Fallon, or no, Mads, you're first. So would you like to use your mulligan?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So your 4 minutes starts right now.
A lot of you know I'm a huge fan of a lot of fandoms. And this is actually one I debated on for a while. But ultimately, I would have to go with the Harry Potter universe. As much as I love like X-Men and all of that, for me it would be the Harry Potter, the magical aspects of the fact that you just do chores with this thing in the wand, and the dishes do themselves. Hallelujah, sign me up. You know, you got the stuff where you can actually raise magical beasts, and yeah, I that would be the job I would be going for. I would want to be like Hagrid or Charlie Weasley. You know, raising magic. I mean, I love animals to start with. You know, dragons, books. You know, do the whole thing like in the Fantastic Beasts. You know, travel around, study them. That would be fantastic, and have your whole world in a suitcase, everything you need. You know, just the aspects of it that is beyond our capabilities is just so much of what I would love to do. Even this is one of those few times I could even see myself actually teaching if I could get past the whole, stage right, actually talking. Like, please don't point out the irony of me being a YouTuber leader. I don't see you staring back. And you tell I'm just trying to comfort at this point. but even like there's like interacting with ghosts. I love the Harry Potter universe. Raven, yeah, I know you got the every one of these will have their downfalls of the big bad, the whole controversy, stuff. In this case, muggles, mudbloods, whatever, don't care. Magic dishes that do themselves. Like, seriously, who doesn't love that? It's my favorite scenes in the movies is whenever they go through the Weasley household, and you see all of the stuff that as me as a mom would kill for.
All those lovely traps or all the spells that get things done.
Yeah, the flu travel as well.
Yeah.
I've got a sister who lives halfway across the country. That would be so fantastic. Just go, and just visit her just like that. That would be awesome. Mm-hmm. I'll never have to wait for the bus. The bus is something. No, night bus would be fun. Just too much fun. Like I said, I'd have to do the Harry Potter world. And I am seriously I'm running out of ideas at this point. Oh. But I would be so like Hermione. Like, I get why she was always doing homework.
Last week,
her homework was covered.
I think one of the questions we had. One of the questions we had 2 weeks ago, I believe, was, what spell would you want to use?
I have glasses. I would be fixing things.
Okay. All right. That's good.
I'll own that one.
No, actually.
That whole word that was just, Oculus Arrow, that would be
And you survived. You survived. Okay, let's see here. Harry Potter's a good one. I will give you 8 points and bring you up to 9 points for that one. Because you did good. You did good. Okay, Shaun, you're up next. Would you like to use your mulligan? You want to use your mulligan? And how much time do you want to take off or add?
I would like to go down to 1 minute, please.
Boy, he's gonna pay for this. You know that. Last week it happened. I can't remember, or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember who it was, but somebody used it first time out, and then the 5 minutes hit, and they're like, "Oh no!" But this is 4 minutes. It may well be worth it. So your mulligan is used. You have 1 minute, and let me tell you right now, your time starts now.
All right, so I would like to live in the DC universe, obviously.
Can you talk 4 minutes about that?
No, I mean I could, but I don't want to. And so yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a universe, where Batman and Superman are real, especially, if there's ever a possibility of Superman beating the crap out of Goku, I would want to be there to see it. As Danny turns off his camera. But yeah, I think it would be really, really cool. I mean, I've grown up watching the shows in one form or another all my life. So to experience that, on an everyday basis in some form or another, at least by catching a replay of what happened on the local news, I mean, it would be freaking awesome, and also to live in a universe where the out of this world villains are, that would just be so awesome, man. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. Now, real quick, does anybody have anything to add to Mad's statements?
The Harry Potter
covered everything.
Yeah.
Because I was going to bring up the whole Dark Lords having to deal with that as a Muggle, because I'm pretty sure I would be a Muggle.
You're not giving yourself very much credit there, Phalon.
Hey, Muggles are still inventive, and
True.
We created things that probably could nuke wizards. So
true. Okay.
Anyway, the question is: we just supposed to live in this world, or are we supposed to actually be like superpowered or whatever?
What fandom universe would you want to live in? So yes, you'd be a part of that world, those rules, all of that. So if Shaun lived in the DC universe, the Joker could come and scalp him if you want.
I'm saying, will we be humans or will we be superpowered too?
I don't think that's really the point here. I guess it could be whatever you want.
Yeah,
you could, because it's capable of happening in that universe. So yeah, sure. I mean, you live within the realm of that universe, so you live in the rules of that universe. So yeah, you could.
So you could be a meta. You could easily be a meta human. If you're in DC,
right?
Okay.
Or an alien.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody have anything to add to Shaun's before I give him his points? For being a scared little, I was going to give him 2 points, but then he threw in the whole Goku versus Superman, and so I went ahead and gave you 8 also. So you're up to 19 also. As Danny turned off his camera again. All right, Phalon, are you ready?
Okay, yeah.
You got 4 minutes. Do you want to use your mulligan? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, and your time starts now.
Okay, if I could be in any fandom at all, that would be my world. I would have to say Charmed circa 1998. I don't mean the reboot because, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
But Charmed was a great series in my opinion, and I'm ignoring the comic books also because it kind of destroyed the show. They had guardian angels, they had demons, they had witches, wizards, everything you could think of, from fantasy, from the high-level fantasy, low-level fantasy, just about anything you could ask for. And you could find yourself, if you had been a good person and died, you'd end up become a guardian angel for other good people and witches. Or if you were really evil, probably could end up a dark lighter and you're just killing everyone.
Like Chris.
I am not.
But no, I'm really fascinated by it. And there's always a chance that you could be the first of your line to become like a witch or a wizard and have powers, but there's always repercussions. Like you can't use your say precognition to make money, because then there would be repercussions. It's got a whole give and take system, which was really interesting. And the more powerful you were, the harder you would have to pay if you actually used your powers for personal gain. And I always thought that was fascinating. And I do discuss this a lot with my friends that I've been friends with for about 13 years. And it's really interesting about the world that was crafted, that that magic doesn't come from just anywhere, and there's different ways you can access it. And I honestly think that would be something really interesting to get into, because there's just so much in that world. But then you do have to worry about, if you are good, you are going to have demons try to kill you every day, every moment of your life, unless you can find a way to ward your home, something a bit like very Harry Potter or any other kind of fantasy. Let's see. What else could I bring up on it? Because I really do love it, but there's just so much I would want to discuss about it. But I don't know how many people actually watched Charmed back in 1998.
The guy above you did.
Oh yeah.
I love Charmed.
Oh yeah, and I think I would definitely want to be, I guess you could say, a witch lighter, which is a half white lighter and half witch, because they've got some of the best powers, including healing. Because white lighters are the guardian angels. They were created by angels to guide and protect. They're not warriors. They don't have wings, and they don't have flaming swords. They're just there to help guide you, to be teachers. But witch lighters are a little bit more aggressive, but they can't use their white lighter powers to say, well, they have this ability called orbing. You can't orb someone into a volcano, because then you got repercussions. Your powers become more violent. And I just really love all of it. And it's really interesting to me. And I think that's the kind of world I would want to be too, because while I'd say Marvel, DC, hey, great, you can be a superhero. Well, you can also be a great superhero in Charmed. You could fight monsters all day, but it might kind of kill your love life.
Yeah.
All right. That time. So Shaun making the stupid quip he did, I'm going to go ahead and take 4 points away from him. He's down to 15. Phalon, I'm giving you 10. You're up to 21. Mads, because I like you and I don't like Shaun, I'm going to go ahead and put you up to 21 points. And Danny, are you ready?
Wait, you didn't ask. You didn't ask if anybody had anything to add.
Well, you don't get to talk. So, yeah, no. Does anybody have anything to add to Phalon's parts?
Yes, I do. I have 2 points.
Anyone?
I have 2 points. 2.
Nobody? Okay. No, go ahead, Shaun.
First, if I were a hero, I wouldn't want a flaming sword. I would want flaming hot Cheetos. And second, if you're a good person, and you're having to deal with demons trying to end your life prematurely, I just have to refer to Billy Joel and say only the good die young.
So Shaun would never die. Because he's been around me too long. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Shaun. Oh, fine. I'll give you back. I'll just make you at 16 now. Maybe I should give you your mental age and points. Let's do that.
12.
No, really, you're that old mentally now? Oh, that's surprising.
Okay.
All right, Danny. You got 4 minutes on the board. The question is, of course, what fandom universe would you want to live in? Would you like to use your mulligan?
No.
No. Okay. So 4 minutes starts now.
This is going to be extremely hard. There are so many. I'm going to narrow down to 2. But I'm going to lean towards the ones that's behind my back. Surprise, surprise. What I would like to do is get with Bulma, steal one of her Dragon Ball trackers, and find the 7 Dragon Balls. Then I would wish myself to be a Saiyan. Not the strongest Saiyan, but to be a Saiyan with the potential that I can do what I want to do to make myself stronger like Goku and Vegeta. I would possibly steal Goku instant transmission because that'd be very valuable when I fly into the DC universe and kick somebody's ass. I'm gonna rewrite this shit because I'm gonna know that I'm gonna put his ass on a planet that don't have yellow sun. I mean, I'm gonna find all the magicians I can find, and I'm gonna go to Metropolis and slap his ass like a little biatch.
Apparently, you just need Skeletor because you get his ass in check. Because I'm tired of this myth that he can't be beaten. So I'm gonna go ahead because I'm gonna know what
I told you.
I'm gonna know what his damn weaknesses are, and I ain't gonna wait like these dumbass villains on the cartoons to be. Oh, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to figure this out. No, I'm gonna smoke his ass the first chance that I get. With a pink kryptonite, purple kryptonite. I'm gonna go through the whole spectrum of kryptonites, and as we all know, gold kryptonite strips his power. So I'm gonna put his behind in a gold kryptonite bath. Yeah. Once I do that, I'll fly off somewhere else, kick somebody butt, train with Vegeta, get even stronger. But all seriousness, if I could, with the Dragon Balls, I would. Also, I think if you get one of the dragons, you get one wish. Another dragon, you get three. The Namekian dragon, if I'm not mistaken. I would wish to have the power to grant someone that I deem necessary, give them the power of a Saiyan, because as you know, they're not immortal, but they do age at a slower rate.
Sean would not be one of those people that you grant that to.
No.
I think so.
You should just grant Superman.
I would grant him whenever he do the fusion dance. He becomes his weakest form ever.
That'd become Chris.
No. See, I think Danny likes me more than he likes you. So
I would definitely give my my brother Javion. He's just like me, except he's about 5 inches taller. But we would rule. We would be devils as Saiyans. But I think that would be pretty cool. Especially you can always get better. I like the fact that you can always train harder, get better, and make a better version of yourself. So that's the world I live in. Well, of course, I can't go to Vegeta because it was blown up, but I would wish for that. People that I care for, who I thought would not abuse the power, I would grant them that same power that I had, and we try to do good things. But I definitely would find where the fuck Superman live and smoke his ass.
He lives in Metropolis.
I'm talking about in compared to where I would be at. You know, I'd make a gold kryptonite bath, and that's where he have his vacation. But that's it. And I'm 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 away from being done. Thank you very much.
very good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll give you 10 points because, well, I'm being nice to everybody but Sean.
This is crap.
Well, it's to be expected. But Sean, since you say it's crap, instead of giving you back 21 points, which I was going to do, I will leave you at 16.
I'm sure. Actually, I have a question. On an unrelated note, does anybody remember what gave Superman the power to shoot rainbows from his fingertips?
What the hell?
Yeah, it was in the comic book, and it's like he was trying to follow the rainbow to his
Lucky Charms.
charms.
Oh, God.
For Sean making a fool of himself, he has now gained his 21 points.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're going to spin the next one topic. Sean, you are up next. This is the third topic. Here we go.
I don't want to.
Yeah, but you're too late. It's already spun it. Sorry.
Damn it.
Okay. So, is Warner Brothers and DC to be blamed for the failure of Birds of Prey, or does the blame lie elsewhere? That is the question.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see how much time. Let's see here. Sean, you used your mulligan, so I'm hoping for 5 minutes.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
Who wrote that question?
Yes. Yes?
I said, who wrote that question?
I did. 1 minute again, guys. 1 minute. close that. So you guys got 1 minute. Sean's lucky. Actually, Sean probably.
Actually, I could have talked for like 20 minutes on this, but
I'm sure you could have. Sounds like something I would say.
don't
All right.
do.
So Sean, oh wait, that's right. Your mulligan's gone. Never mind.
Yeah.
So your 1 minute starts now.
All right. So yeah, ultimately the fail does lie at the feet of Warner Brothers, because even though Margot Robbie had a lot of creative control over this, it was ultimately Warner Brothers' decision to either do or not do, what she wanted. So, I mean, I think that we all kind of saw the writing on the wall when this was immediately greenlit after Suicide Squad performed the way it did at the theater. I mean, this was greenlit back in 2016, and the way the film looks, it's like a direct sequel to Suicide Squad. So I didn't really expect this to be anything different than like a fun movie. So it's kind of like they took a giant step back with the quality of this. And I don't know, like I said, I don't think this is necessarily Margot Robbie's fault, because Warner Brothers, like Chris has said before, they need to kind of pick and decide where they want to go and have a better idea of their direction. So it's
bonus question on this, and all of you can answer it. If you've seen it, did you like the movie? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay. All right. Phalon, are you ready?
Yes.
Your 1 minute starts now. Would you like to use your mulligan?
Nah.
Okay, your 1 minute starts now.
I think it was a mixture of the whole WB DC thing, but also I think it was also Hollywood in general with what kind of movies we're getting right now. That they're not the best scripts, but I think one of the major issues that when this movie was coming out, how they presented it, which I guess you could say is the DC WB issue. So I think it's a mixture. It is a mixture about how they're handling it, that they're getting pressure to try to make the next big trend, and they're going to lose a lot of money that way, at least in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I'll give you 10 points for that.
Did you award me points?
I'm not talking to you. Yes, I gave you 10 points.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
But you didn't do the Yoda voice, so maybe I should take him away.
Yoda voice? I've never done the Yoda voice in my life.
Do or do not. Okay, anyway.
You're an idiot.
I have never denied this. Never in my life have I denied it. Okay. Phalon, so the next question is, have you seen the movie?
Not yet. I need to.
I plan on going and seeing it again. I'll probably drag Sean too.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I know you will. All right. So up next, Danny. You have 1 minute on the board. Would you like to use your mulligan?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. So your time starts.
Tell me okay. The
1
question was it Warner Brothers' fault or not?
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
DC, or I mean the combination.
I'm going to lay most of the blame at the foot of Warner Brothers because I don't think they marketed it correctly. I don't recall seeing them really hitting us over the head like they did with other movies. So I think that's a lot of it. I think that the director has to be someone that knows the content and should have enough courage to tell the actor, no matter how big or small they are, that look, we're not doing it like this because this is not going to flow. We got to do it like this. I think that they gave Margot Kitty a lot of control, but not necessarily the decision she made was best for the movie. Movie overall, I give it a 6.5, 7. Nothing to write home about, but I have seen a whole lot worse. But will I go see it again? Probably not. And that's basically my opinion.
Okay. Very good. And you answered the other question, so very good. 10 points because again, 1 minute. It's pretty subjective. I like what you guys are saying. Sean's still an idiot. It's okay.
I have something to add.
It's all right. I like having him on here though. It's
I have something to add, you fool.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and try to add something.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that with the direction the Birds of Prey took, with the photo that was leaked today of the Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn is currently filming, there is a huge difference in the visual tone that Harley Quinn has taken from Birds of Prey to the Suicide Squad. Her look is completely different, and I think James Gunn is going for a more mature adaptation of this.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and check that out. I think, Shaun, did you tweet that out?
Yeah, I tweeted it out, and it's also in the chat.
Yeah, so everybody's links are in the description. Go check out his Twitter, and you will see that picture. Okay, up next, last but not least, Mads, Mama, please, if you would like to use your mulligan.
No, not at all.
Okay, so your 1 minute starts.
Well, I don't need it any more than Shaun does for this topic.
Your time starts.
No, yeah, I know. Would Warner Brothers be to blame? Absolutely. Absolutely. They're the ones who, green-lighted the script. They're the ones who, allowed the characters, the choice of characters. And each one of them beautiful, wonderful actresses. But if you wanted to do that diverse script, that kind of diverse cast, look for characters that were actually, like that. I mean, Black Canary has always had the same image. You wanted to have somebody in, put in Vixen. You didn't need to race swap that. Again, I don't mind the movie. That's the work that they wanted to do. They're the ones that put out the marketing that they did. It really, what their whole point is trying to bring in people, and nothing about that did.
Okay. Have you seen the movie?
Not in its entirety.
Okay. Well, okay. What did you think of it in general, then? What you have seen?
What I have seen wasn't as bad as a lot of people will turn around and say. Though there's that DC purist in me that I still struggle with some of the characters looking the way they do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have something to add.
Okay.
So kind of to Matt's point is that now, since they've made the choices that they made, we have to live with this trash version of Black Mask. Black Mask is supposed to be a really feared character, in the Batman lore. And I really don't take no offense to Ewan McGregor, because I think he's a great actor, but I don't take his Black Mask as big of a threat as he's supposed to be.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have anything else to add?
Yeah.
No? Okay. 10 points to you, Matt. 31 for everyone. Again, the points mean absolutely nothing, just so you know. So it's all for naught? No. All right. Let's see here. Up next, last but not least, is Phalon. And your topic to start off with will be...
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, and here we go. Was Gayle King's question about Kobe Bryant's sexual issues in 2003 insensitive, or was it warranted? Now, for those of you who don't know necessarily, Gayle King, I believe, was basically... I don't know if it was a question per se. Danny, you might be able to help me out a little bit with this, but she basically brought up the fact that he shouldn't be revered, if I remember right, because
no.
Go ahead and tell me what it was.
Lisa Leslie was Kobe's best friend, and she was in an interview with Gayle King, and she asked her. She brought up the situation in 2003 and asked, "Did she really know was Kobe like that or not?" And Lisa Leslie explicitly told her several times she never saw that side of Kobe, that Kobe never tried to entice her to get have women come in the club, that kind of stuff. She said there are other people in the NBA that does that, but Kobe did that. And she kind of kept asking her on and on and on until it got uncomfortable.
Okay. So the question is was that warranted, or was it insensitive to bring that up concerning the fact that Kobe Bryant, of course, died just a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to spin the wheel of time. And we have 1 minute again. So everybody, Sean's really looking out today because he's already used his mulligan. Okay, we have 1 minute. We're going to bring that clock back up. Phalon, are you wanting to use your mulligan to add time, or would you like to leave
No,
it?
I'm good with what I got.
Okay, so your time starts.
Especially since I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay, well, just think about it this way: the guy just life just ended. Is this a question that should have been brought up during this time?
Right.
I guess that'd be a good way of putting it too. All right, guys, Phalon, your time starts right now.
Okay, honestly, I think it was a very inappropriate question. They shouldn't be bringing that up. Back in 2003, if there was no reason or it wasn't the time to be discussing that kind of thing, shouldn't be brought up. And especially right now that he died, his child died, you don't bring up that kind of when people are still in mourning, especially if it will basically drag their entire family through the mud. It's like, you don't do that. That's inappropriate. It just looks like you're trying to make yourself more famous, more important at the moment when you're basically worthless. It's just going to tick off a lot of people and they're going to hate you more or less. And that actually does upset me that they would even bring that up at this point in time.
No, you're right there. You're good on time. That's great. 10 points. I don't disagree at all. So yeah. Anybody have anything to add? No. Okay. Danny, you're up next. Would you like to use your mulligan, or would you like to hold on to the mulligan?
Yes, I'm going to add 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So you're going to put it up to 3 minutes. And I will put down that you have used your mulligan, and your time, Danny, starts right now.
I agree 1,000% with what Phalon said about just because it was doing a bad time. I think she used poor judgment. We all knew what Kobe was accused of. And I will say it again. We all knew what he was accused of, but never convicted. The person that supposedly he assaulted never went to court because she, for whatever reason, changed her mind. I don't know whether some people say he paid her off. I don't know that. I wasn't there, but he was never convicted. Here in the United States, it's supposed to be you're innocent until proven guilty, but in the public opinion, they crucify you just about every time. There's a saying that they say in sports world that just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something. Just because she could ask that question doesn't mean she should ask that question, because not only did it affect Kobe's name, but he lost his daughter. The wife is at home with 2 other children, his father, mother, siblings, all that. And we know now we live in a world now that clicks or the thing what's going on. So Gayle King knew what she was doing. She tried to say that CBS recorded and took it out of context. That may be true, but I think she has enough of clout to say, look, I'm not going to ask that question. If that's what y'all want me to ask, then I'm not going to do it. But she chose to do it. So if you choose to do something, then sometimes you got to live with the consequences. Now, the consequences was she had a lot of death threats. I don't think she deserved that. She does not deserve to have her life threatened, but she deserves to take some of that heat because, like I said, just because I can, in my profession, lock someone up, I don't always lock somebody up. There's always, in most cases, another alternative or easier way. She didn't have to ask that. Well, okay, let's say she did ask. She did have to ask it. She asked a question one time. Lisa Leslie answered, "No, Kobe did not. I did not see that side of Kobe. He did not. When we were out in the club or wherever socializing, he did not ever tell me to go get somebody and put him there. I never saw that side of Kobe." That's where the question should have stopped. But she kept pressing on and on, asked 2 or 3 different questions. And that's when she got to eat. That's when she got the heat. And then she called her big sister Oprah Winfrey to try to smooth things over. But sometimes big brother, big mama, big daddy can't smooth it over. So right now she just got to take that heat she's taking now. Again, I don't condone anybody threatening her life. I think that's crossing the line. But when he kind of heat she taken for using poor judgment, I'm 1,000% behind that. So, in my opinion, it was poor timing, poor judgment, and so now she just got to live with the consequences.
Okay. Very good, very nice. 10 points to you. No, I don't disagree with anything you said. Anybody have anything to add? No. Okay, so the time will go back down to 1 minute. And up next, Mads, Miss MamaBear, would you like to add your time, use your mulligan, or would you like to hold on to the mulligan?
I'm good holding on to the mulligan unless I can pass it off to somebody else.
Nope, it's yours, and you must keep it. And we got one more question. We got one more question left, so you're not necessarily doing a bad thing. 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Everyone knows that basic. When somebody has just passed, that's not to bring up the skeletons in the closet. That truly were already aired and had already been settled out. So at this point, the question was not only ill-timed, it was completely inappropriate because it had already been decided. This person's just trying to drag not only his name through the mud, but the rest of the family, the daughter, and being honest, his daughter was not the only kid on that helicopter. And the other people that were also on that helicopter, they got completely swept under the rug when they also should have been remembered as well. But everyone's just so focused on this one thing that he supposedly did. Step you off.
Mm-hmm. No. Okay. Yeah, no. 10 points for you. Definitely, I totally agree. There's a time, there's a place. And actually, I'll say it after we're done. Anybody have anything to add?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Shaun, your 1 minute starts now. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
So I don't think I can really add to anything anyone said because I think everyone's pretty much said everything. Except that it's unfortunate that these days when you're a celebrity, this seems to happen, where this seems to be something that could potentially happen when you pass. I mean, just look at everything that's happened to Michael Jackson since he's passed. I mean, he was like Kobe. He was never convicted of anything. He was accused, but never convicted. And they're still making documentaries about his life and what potentially happened, So in the case of Gayle King, she knew what she was doing. I don't believe that she didn't. Maybe if she asked it once and then let it go, but she asked it more than once. So she knew what she was doing. And I think that as a media personality that you should be respectful of those that people leave behind. If this was a question that had to be asked, maybe ask it like 4 or 5 months or a year afterwards.
Anybody have anything else to add?
Nope.
They keep saying journalistic integrity. They keep using that as the shield, but I'm still going to be, just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do something.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. My thought process on this is as such. One, this has already been explored. He and his wife sat at a press conference and talked about this. Kobe, if I do remember right, Danny, he admitted to an extramarital affair, but that was it, right?
That is correct.
He was a man. I mean, literally, he didn't waste time. When the stuff started coming out, he came right out and said yes, and he admitted to it. And then he and his wife and his family went through this already. And like you all have said, to drag this into the mud again, to bring this family who is now mourning the loss of 2 people of that family, a daughter especially. I mean, let's go past the point. Kobe had a great career. Kobe had a life. His daughter was 13 years old. You are dragging her father's name through the mud right now by even bringing this up. I'm not even sure if a few months goes by that this is appropriate because he's now deceased. And like Shaun said, when somebody is deceased, you don't continue to drag them through the mud. Michael Jackson's dead. Let's not bring him back and try him again.
He's not here to defend himself.
Exactly. And so leave the fact out that this did happen in 2003. Whatever the incident was, again, he was not convicted. He was not found guilty of any crime. He admitted to an extramarital affair. The time has passed. That has already been played out in the public opinion court. We don't need to bring it back, especially after somebody dies.
Yep.
And it's not like it was a big secret.
No, exactly. Like I said, he came out. They did a press conference. I mean, if I remember right, it was like a 45-minute or an hour press conference. He sat there next to his wife and took questions about it and didn't back down either. I mean, and when you think of people like Michael Jordan, who has been found to have had extramarital affairs and stuff, he never had to go through that necessarily. Kobe was he was a man about it. He honestly was. And so to even suggest that this needs to be brought back up, I think is ridiculous. And reporters need to learn where their place and time is for questions like this. And it was 17 years ago is where it was. So, okay. So this is the final question, guys. And so in order to do that, we're going to see who starts this. We're going to spin this wheel. Phalon, you are the winner of the beginning of the last question.
Winner, chicken dinner.
And we're going to spin the wheel of topics. Phalon and Matt still have their mulligan. Is Hollywood listening to fans in the call for more reboots? So, Phalon, this was your question, right?
Yes, it was.
So are people calling for more or are they calling for less?
They're actually calling for less. They're like, we want some original good scripts.
So is Hollywood listening to fans about?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
All right. So we're gonna find out how long. We're gonna find out how long you had to talk about this. Wow, we've breezed through this one. We have breezed through this one today. So, you got 1 minute. You do have your mulligan. Would you like to use your mulligan? Nothing says you have to. If you'd like time, nope.
Good.
You're with 1 minute. Okay, so 1 minute on the board. And is Hollywood listening to fans about reboots? That's what I guess that's the better question right there. Are they listening? So here you go. Your 1 minute starts now.
All right. No, they're not listening to fans about reboots. There's a ton of different ones coming out. They didn't listen to fans back when the Dark Fate was going to be a thing. Honestly, people are being really cautious over Ghostbusters right now because we don't know if it's going to live up. It's supposed to be a continuation of the first, not the 2016 Trash Fest. And honestly, it's just like people are tired of reboots because they reboot things over and over and over, and we don't want it anymore. It's like, get some fresh ideas. That's why people went into movies, for escapism. We don't want you to force your politics with your reboots. I honestly say it pretty often. I hate reboots with passion.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. I mean, obviously, it's kind of a ridiculous thing that but I think we're all used to it. Anybody have anything to add? Nope. Okay. Up next, Danny, your 1 minute starts right now.
I am going to disagree with Ms. Phalon. I take the word fan, F-A-N, and I put it beside the word pro, P-R-O. There's no way one can be the other. Just because a fan says they're tired of something, if the professional looks at it and gets a good script, and because now, like we said earlier, special effects are coming into their own, get more and more sophisticated. If I can put a good story together with a superpower hero and the special effects are going to kick ass and I got a good script, I really don't care what the fan says about me making a movie. Now, once I make the product, they can critique it and say, this sucks, blah, blah. But the idea or the decision that whether or not I'm going to invest my time, energy, money into it, that's my decision to make. If the studio backs me up, I think it's a good movie. Like I'm going to promote one of Shaun's favorite movies. If they make a Superman, Man of Steel 2, and Henry Cavill's in it, I want to see that. So
Right on.
that's, I believe.
I don't disagree. I might actually give you extra points for the fact that you even said you want to go see something with Superman in it. I'm not going to, but hey, I'll give you your 10 points. 51, Phalon. Let's see here. Mads, you got the mythical mulligan. You want to use it and add some time to this?
You sure I can't add it on the show time?
Oh yeah, actually, Shaun hasn't gone yet. Yeah, you can add. Would you like to give him the 5-minute time?
Yes.
And Phalon, if you want to give him yours and go up 5
Yeah.
Sure.
Give him 10 minutes.
That's Mulligan's
10
on.
minutes.
I will give him 10 minutes to talk about it, but I bet you he could actually. Your 1 minute's on the board, Mama, and your time starts now.
Honestly, I think that I do know that there are some fans that still want to see the reboots, that we wanted to see Ghostbusters, but we wanted to see the original trio. And what they're really doing is they're only half listening. We want to see we want to see these things. We want to see the reboot. We want to see sequels, but we want to see them done right. I was one of the people calling for, another shot with the Phoenix in the X-Men, because they completely trashed it in the first one. But what I want to see is I want to see the child of the Uncrowned Crystal. And I know I'm not the only one that just wants to see it done right. It done right to the lore. Do it with honor. Make sure you treat the original characters. Give them their props. You want to reboot? Absolutely. Just give honor to the original.
Awesome. Yeah. No.
Did you say you want to see the reboot of the Dark Crystal?
No. Which
Phoenix. Honestly, what I would really love, and I would still go see it if they did it, is if they put out, like, say, a trilogy sequel of the Phoenix saga.
Did you go see that last one?
Done properly. Every time I'm going to, it's like I've got it seriously pulled up on my phone, ready to watch, and
it's not bad as people say. I'm telling you that.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as people say.
All right. Anybody have anything to add?
I'll just say what I said in the private chat. I respect y'all's opinions, and those are good perspectives to have. It's just I get buried under all the really bad reboots.
And that's the difficult thing about it. Shaun, your 10 minutes is starting right now. No. Your 1 minute's on the board, Shaun. Your time starts now.
All right. First of all, I think that Hollywood and culture needs to really learn and understand what a sequel and a reboot really is. I keep hearing people calling the Ghostbusters Afterlife a reboot, and it's not. It's a continuation. But as far as reboots go, I think that Hollywood has gotten lazy in the fact that a reboot is easier to do than come up with something original. And look, I don't care if you reboot something as long as it's good. It all comes down to the quality of the script. As long as it's not like a CGI glory fest and the script is horrible, then I think that people will generally be okay with it, as long as you don't preempt a storyline that has been popular among the fans and you don't give them some sort of an ending first before you reboot the trilogy or the franchise or whatever it is. I just think that they need to be more selective with the reboots, especially, like I said, when it comes to the scripts.
Well, I've forgotten how to add, so I actually found the goose egg. So Shaun is now at 0 points, and
That's what I'm going for.
51. So Shaun, you're a little loser. Congratulations. You know what? Everybody did a great job again. The points don't really matter. What matters is your guys' opinions, and I appreciate all you guys being on tonight. We're going to spend let's go ahead and say 15 minutes on the timer. We can go through. If anybody in the chat would like to ask any of our great panelists a question, you may keep it topic based. And the topics, Thomas, are random. They're on the wheel of topics. All of our guests pick 2 topics, and those topics go on the wheel of topics, and then we spin the wheel of topics. but we will be going back to those topics if we don't get any questions. So if you guys have any questions, please give it to put it in the chat, and we will go to the remaining questions right now. Let's see here. Let's see what wasn't asked. Mad's Mama Bear had a good question on here. Who would you want to play you in a movie? Anybody want to start?
Oh, hell, Idris Elba can play me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he can play me too.
And Shaun again goes.
Chris McCarpenter.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Shaun.
A pre-diagnosis, Michael J. Fox.
Okay, cool. All right. And Matt?
I believe the actress is Kat Dennings, the one from Two Broke Girls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dark,
yeah. I can
Yeah.
see that too.
I can see that.
her character in that show was already pretty, freaking frightening. Quite to me. For the fact that I used to hear my ex when we'd watch that show because I would make comments right before she did.
I would say either Sean Connery, which is a bit old, and even Harrison Ford, but I would put them back when they were younger. But that's who I would want to play me. But at that point now, today though,
Connery, really?
Yeah, why not?
I think he's a little too manly to play you.
Oh no, just the right amount of man. Sean would try to say that because he doesn't know what a man really is. So,
Oh boy,
let's see here.
that's fired.
If I was going to think on it and pick, oh hell, I know it's going to sound weird, but I'd say maybe Adam Driver. He kind of has sometimes a dry sense of humor, and he likes to make fun of himself in weird ways. Like, every time he goes on Saturday Night Live and he brings up the, Star Wars, it's like he's trolling everything himself. So, I don't mind that. I like, if you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of?
Fair.
Well, there's Sean. I mean, I can make fun of
You
him.
try.
Yes, I
But
do.
then you usually make yourself look stupid in the process. So
Well, that's because you
I
are.
encourage you to try.
I dumb myself down just to do it because, well, that's the only way I can get down on your
There's
level.
really not a whole lot of deep down that's possible with you because you're kind of already at the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, listen to you. Okay, let's see here. Another question. Do journalists have the right to ask any question they want and be given a pass no matter what the circumstance, or should they be held accountable for their words? So much like what we just talked about with Kobe. If they should be held accountable, how should they be held accountable?
I think the answer to both questions is a foggy yes, because one, there's the journalists are supposed, the freedom of press was created, to originally keep politicians honest, and so they're not really doing their job in that regard. A lot of people would say, I would tend to agree with them for the most part. But the second, there are important topics out there, that are not politic related. And I think that they need to use better judgment a lot of times, on these situations like Kobe and Michael Jackson and things like that, that there are still grieving family members out there. So I think it's really a case by case scenario with this question.
Yeah, it has to be case by case because there's some information that if it gets exposed to the masses, it's going to cause more damage than not knowing.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
someone has to have enough sense to put a filter on it of sorts. Okay, we know this is going on, but do we need to tell X amount of people, or is it better if we tell them in chunks or whatever? People talk about it's gonna be conspiracy theories as long as we live.
Yep.
So sometimes it says in the book of Proverbs, he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. So sometimes the more information that you have, the more sorrow it's going to cause. So sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I can see that. Fallon,
I think it comes down to journalistic integrity.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that too. Fallon, Mads, anything to say on that?
Actually, yeah. It's just to add on what's already been said. We can't know everything that's going on in the government. Journalists aren't supposed to get into that because that leads to like treason and all this other stuff. I think it's good that information like that, like about what's going on within the government, isn't released until decades later, if ever. And I honestly agree that, yeah, it should be case by case about the censoring the journalist, or if it's bad enough, if they cause as a grave enough injury that they should lose their jobs.
Okay.
That's fair.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mads?
Honestly, other than what's been brought up, the only thing I would have to say is really just because you can ask something, yet as was said, just because you can ask something doesn't mean you should. It's the concept of yes, you can ask things, but they're not always the right thing to ask. And freedom of speech does not preclude the freedom from what happens when you've asked that question.
I tell you, it's funny now you say that. The First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment are contradictions of each other. One gives you exclusive power to say what you want to say, and the Fourth Amendment is how it protects your rights and your level of privacy and stuff. So it's great.
Freedom of speech is as long as that speech does not infringe on one's privacy or on
security.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think they yes, you're right, Danny. They do kind of contradict each other, but they're also there to protect one another.
Well, it's like you can't, like the old cliche, you can't yell fire in a crowded building.
Exactly. So they're I mean, I think that's more what that's there for. And that's why we also have courts. I mean, as much as courts get brought into stupid things, the courts are there to decide if these things are broken or if one does overstep the other. When it happens. You bring up a good point, though.
It's broken.
Well, there's a lot of broken stuff in our current political, socioeconomic life. Well, yeah, I probably did. Okay, so here's a question for you guys. So we talked about reboots. Each one of you give me one movie from the past that's like over, let's say, 5 years old that should be rebooted and one that should not.
That is easy for me.
Okay. Let's start with you then, Danny.
He-Man should definitely be rebooted. That crap they did 20 years ago.
Okay.
No, 1987.
Or whatever makes you want to slap somebody.
I disagree with that. Okay.
Now, what shouldn't be rebooted? Oh, God.
You said it was going to be easy.
I didn't hear the second part till you said it. Took care of my mouth. Oh, what shouldn't be rebooted? I don't think that the Marvel franchise Avengers, I think that's perfect as is.
Okay. So you're just talking about the Avengers movies.
The Avengers movies.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I like that. Anyone want to go next?
I'll go. I can't necessarily think of anything specifically that needs to be rebooted because I feel like we need a break from reboots.
You wouldn't agree with Danny on that?
I mean, He-Man, sure. But the thing is,
He-Man wasn't done right, Sean. I mean, it wasn't done right. That should get a whole new, fresh reboot. I want to see Prince Adam transform into He-Man.
Oh, absolutely.
Not no daggone stay He-Man 24/7. I don't want to see that crap.
No, I agree with you there. And if it's something that Sony will actually do, I mean, they just shelved the live action movie that was supposedly in the works again. So
yeah,
if it's something that would actually be possible, absolutely, I'd love to see He-Man done correctly because I think that you would have an awesome franchise that could be like the next big fantasy movie if they did it in a correct manner. But as far as like a franchise or a movie that should never be rebooted, I would have to say Back to the Future. I mean, the original movie keep in mind it was done in 1985, but the special effects still really hold up. I mean, Also, keep in mind that it's not like a super effects heavy movie, except for the time travel element.
Yeah, DeLorean and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so as far as like the lightning and everything that happens with a DeLorean time
That
travel,
was hand drawn.
well, yeah, but it still looks pretty decent.
No, it does. Oh, absolutely. No.
Yeah. So I just don't think there's a whole lot that you could do with or should do with Back to the Future. They just did that deep fake with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland, where they superimposed their faces over Doc Brown and Marty McFly, and it looks scary. The amount of technology that what it can do now. I mean, we're going to get to the point where you don't even have to actually refilm the entire movie. You can just go in and put people's faces on top of dead actors, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Mads or Fallon?
I'm still having trouble thinking about that.
Okay, that's fine. Mads?
Honestly, I have to agree with the guys on both He-Man and Back to the Future. I also had, and I'm trying to remember whether there actually was a Thundercats live action.
No. I can't. Did they get the animated one? I can't remember.
They got an animated one now, but it's definitely toddler friendly. It ain't even kid friendly. It's toddler friendly.
Yeah, no, I think that the one I'm remembering was just a longer episode or several episodes that they.
There was a reboot, I think, in 2011 for the cartoon.
Yeah,
no, I'm talking about in the original cartoon. I know that they talked about doing what they did with G.I. Joe.
Oh, there was never any.
They did a Thundercats movie. They did that.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember a Thundercats movie.
I thought it was either.
No, because I remember seeing
they did one after. Can you remember they got those three new Thundercats?
Yeah, it was live action, and it was pure.
No, what live action? No, it was live action.
It's animated. Yeah, so
yeah, it's not live.
But yeah,
they did a fan live action. They had like Brad Pitt and.
No, I'm talking predating. I'm talking predating that. Unfortunately, I can't look it up right now, but I remember. If I'll look it, I'll see if I can find it later. But yeah, if that was the case, I would totally add that one onto the list. But beyond that, yeah, He-Man would definitely need to be rebooted.
Yeah, I would love to see
really,
live action though.
You really can't reboot Back to the Future because we're already past the future.
That's true. That's very true.
They would have to rewrite the entire, well, at least the time travel element of like, we'd have to go back to like what
1960 something.
Well, 30 years in the past, so it'd be 1990. So it was 1955 from 1985. So that was 30 years in the past. So
true, it'd be
now you go back to 1990. Good God.
Thank you, Mads, for making Shaun feel old.
She made me do math.
What I do.
I saw the steam coming out from behind his ear.
Do I get extra points for making steam come out of his ears?
I start with 20 points the next time you come on.
She should actually take my points, but I have 0.
Yeah, no, I gave you the same amount as everybody else. Okay, so yeah, and Will Gentry brings up that they just announced the cast for Netflix animated remake of He-Man. We brought that up on the Chaos list on Tuesday over on Shaun's channel. And just really quick to get to that, I'll let you guys know that we are doing a trilogy of shows on my channel, on Danny's channel, and on Shaun's channel that will be going over on the new Chaos Central YouTube channel. But we're going to start them off on our channels, and on Sunday we will get to you at a later time what time that's going to be. But Sunday we will have what we're going to call the Rule of 3, and we'll bring that up, and we'll tweet that out as soon as we have that all lined up. Fallon, have you thought about this?
Okay, one movie I would love to see besides the movies that have been said, I wouldn't mind Beastmaster being redone. That movie was made back in '85, the first one. I honestly think with the right script, with the right cast, it has potential.
Man, nobody want to see that man walk around no damn loincloth.
Oh, yeah, man would be walking around in.
That was disgusting.
But you just championed a He-Man movie. I mean,
He-Man ain't no loincloth.
He is. He's in furry trunks. Essentially the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. with the furry waist belt or whatever. All right, so Beastmaster, which is interesting. I mean, I'm trying to think of one that hasn't been said yet. What shouldn't be?
Stay away from Terminator.
Oh God.
Well, I'm gonna have a video coming out here next week probably about that.
But yeah, I'm like, just stay away from the franchises that have been rebooted so much.
I would say, and this may or may not be a popular answer, I would like to see the Abyss redone. I don't want it touched too much. There was enough female representation in it.
Talking about where that thing was deep under the water?
Yeah. It was the beginning of CGI, and it needed CGI the way that they did it. It was the beginning. It's what basically led to Terminator 2 being done.
Somebody.
What? It had Ed Harris, and I can't remember who played his ex-wife.
Female.
Yeah.
What she play on? But
it had a good equal representation of female and male, so there's nothing there that would have to be changed. The female in it has a fairly strong role. And
all right, SJW, Chris, here's your card.
No. I'm just saying, when you think about the things Hollywood can do to reboots and do to a movie, it lends to all the stuff that they would do anyways. That's what I'm thinking about this. So they're not going to mess with it too much, I don't think.
Is that going to be strong enough to put butts in the seat?
The Abyss, probably not.
I don't know. It was very popular when it came out, and
when did it come out?
It came out in 1989.
I remember the movie.
Because the whole purpose of the water scene was to test for T2, because that's what Carpenter was trying to do. He was trying to see, can we do this? And as soon as he saw that, he's like, yeah, we're going to do this. This is the idea I want to use for T2. I think if it's done and if it's maybe modernized a little bit, because it is dated, it's a rig, and the rig is very old, but there's enough of the deep water exploration stuff that you could do. But I think it could be done well, and I think that CGI would help it. The cool thing about Abyss originally is most of it was actually shot underwater.
Isn't that? It's been a long time, but wasn't that like Stargate but underwater?
No,
they were like underwater drillers.
They were, and basically the aliens were underwater, so they weren't really aliens. They were deep sea creatures that we hadn't found yet.
Yeah.
So
they had this big ass ship, and they saved Ed Harris. And when they came up, it was big as a damn city or whatever. I remember it.
God, it's been a long time.
Hey, this guy here wrote something, man, that would be cool. How about if they do a reboot of the original Predator, but have like Jason Momoa or The Rock play?
Man,
like
I don't know. I mean,
was this last one a reboot or was it a continuation?
They're all continuations, technically.
I think the Alien. I mean, I think the Predators are by themselves. The Alien and Predator, I think that's a different.
Yeah, it basically lended itself to
I don't like the Alien versus Predator series.
Not as much.
Yeah, I don't either.
What should never be touched? Definitely Back to the Future. You can't add to it. You can't change it. Most of them have agreed that they should never be touched. Christopher Lloyd, I think, trolls people when he says, "Oh, it should be about climate change" or something like that. I think.
I hope he's trolling. I hope he hasn't lost his damn mind.
Well, with that hair from that movie, man, you never knew.
I know.
But Chris, that was like a lightning in the bottle. No pun intended.
I was just gonna say, wait.
It was perfect. The casting. I mean, come on. They reshot the first movie almost entirely because they wanted Michael J. Fox originally, and when he became available, they said, "Scrap that. We're redoing it."
Can you imagine I would like to see whatever cut that they still have with Eric.
It would be interesting to do. Well, you know what? Deep fake it with Eric Stoltz.
Well, there's actual footage.
I know.
But yeah, I would like to see, because apparently, from what I've heard, it was a completely tonal shift when Michael J. Fox came on.
He was much darker. They said Eric Stoltz was much darker, more deadpan.
Yeah.
And I think Michael J. Fox did a very good job of playing a fish out of water.
Oh yeah.
It just the way when he walks into the square and he's just like where the hell am I? That's one of the best scenes. I mean, that's one of the best reveals of movies. And I mean, I will never grow tired of watching those movies the way they are 30, 40, 50 years down the line. And it doesn't matter how outdated the future one is, because you can always play it off with Back to the Future science, which says that one thing changes and it changes everything thereafter or before, or thereafter. So
it still doesn't make the lack of hoverboards any less painful.
Well, you know, Shaun, we got to call Mattel and protest. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for coming on tonight. As always, this has always been this is a fun thing. I hope you guys like the format. Those of you who watched, I hope you like the format.
I hope you've all enjoyed me.
You know, Shaun. Okay. Anyways, if you guys would like to be on, you can tweet me at chrisknight5150, or you can email me chrisknight at therealreview3000.com. That information is down in the description below, as is, again, everybody's links to their Twitter and their YouTube. It's down below. Remember, if you're a YouTube content creator, go look up Phalon on Twitter and tweet her out some information so she can put you on her list for people who want to do live streaming and stuff. If you need some information, if you want to know what information she needs, she's more than willing to let you know. But that's a very good idea you got there, Phalon. Mads, great to have you on. You're going to have a stream right after this. Make sure you go check that out. I'm going to give you a chance, all four of you, to go ahead and talk really quick about who you are, where they can find you, all that fun stuff. So, Mads, go ahead and tell everybody that information.
Thank you, because I'm going to actually have to bounce pretty quickly.
Yep.
Hey y'all, Mads MamaBear here, and you can find me at Mads MamaBear, both on Twitter and on YouTube. But tonight, and they probably have already started, you can also find me on According to Christie's channel tonight. Actually, in just a few seconds. On the Queen's Council Mondays, you can also find me with these three wonderful gents on Comic Chat's channel. Okay.
Chaotic conversation.
Yes. Matt, thank you very much. If you want to put in the, I don't know if you can, but if you want to put it in,
I dropped the tweet into the weekly Rumble.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So guys, go check her out over on According to Christie's channel. And yeah, so guys, go over there if you want right after this. We're almost done. So, all right, up next, Shaun, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and anything you want to pimp. Mads, have a good day.
Hi, Mads.
Very much. Bye.
Let's see. What do I want to reveal about myself? Well, you can find me at chrisknight.com.
Which I don't think actually exists, because
it should because he definitely can.
No, I can't. And actually, I'd be completely unwilling to do so.
You're an open invitation whenever. Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? You first.
No. But you can find me at Ow.
That's Garba.
Shut up, bastard. No, you can just check me out on YouTube if you're bored. Shaun Stackhouse Reacts, and on Twitter, at Shaun Stackhouse.
Yeah, if you want to be bored, continue to be bored, go and see him. No, Shaun's got some great content out there. We both do music reviews, movie reviews, all sorts of different stuff. Great content over there on his channel. Make sure you go check him out. And he does some great live streams too. So yeah, go check him out. We joke a lot, but
remember, chrisknight.com.
Yeah, again, you first. As much as we joke, we're like brothers. That's basically, we're only children, and so we have each other to totally annoy. I do a much better job of annoying him than he does me. So
I just ignore him for the most part.
He says that, but no, he doesn't.
I do. Whenever he tries to contact me, I'm like, no.
Then why did he just talk to me? He just answered me.
I said for the most part, I'm choosing not to ignore you at this moment.
Sure. Okay, guys. Phalon, tell everybody about yourself and where they can find you.
All right, I am Phalon Reacts. I do reactions, reviews. I do a little bit of gaming, discussion of pop culture. You can find me on Twitter, which is twitter.com/Phalon Reacts. my YouTube channel. I just do a little bit of everything. On Sundays, I have at 12 p.m. Central Time Zone, I have the High Noon, which is discussing about anything and everything that may have come up in the week. And you can also occasionally find me on Twitch when I'm doing my gaming, which I always put alert on my Twitter. But like was mentioned earlier, I am compiling a data a spreadsheet on Google Docs where people can really just go through there and find people to stream with. It's a big project I'm working with several people on.
Awesome. And last but not least, Danny of Comic Chat. Danny, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and all that stuff.
My name is Danny Graham. I work at Comic Chats, which is on YouTube. Also, you can find me on Twitter, Comic Chats with an S. Hang out with these two other guys here a few times during the week. Well, like Chris said earlier, we're starting a new venture, the Rule of Three, which is going to be this Sunday. But on Mondays, you can catch me at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Chaotic Conversation, where I try to put together questions that's going to stimulate and create conversation. Mainly is comic book topics. This one topic coming up Monday is going to be top 5 supervillains that you secretly cheer for or you openly hate. So I think that's going to be
Shaun.
Hey, no fair. I was going to get there first.
But it's a good time. My goal is to get 1,500 subscribers before Father's Day or by Father's Day, which is I think the 3rd week in June, if I'm not mistaken. Right now I'm a little over 1,100, so that is my goal. Also, I'm trying to get my hours.
Yes.
My hours are kicking my ass, but I will eventually get there.
Yes.
But that's it.
Well, guys, thank you very much. Really quick, don't forget that you can go to my Twitter at chrisknight5150. Help me out, get to 1,000 subscribers before April 12th of 2020, April 20th if you're Ords. And go to my Twitter at chrisknight5150 and retweet and like my pinned post. And if I get to 1,000 subscribers by April 12th, you could possibly win these 3 books, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are 1st edition copies. Star Wars is a 7th edition special or 7th edition special.
But it's still not labeled A New Hope. So.
No, it is not A New Hope. These are not the Legends series. These are the original that came out literally. These 2 came out before the movies came out. And then this one came out like a year after the movie came out. So,
but before the other 2.
But yeah, before the other 2. So guys, check that out. I appreciate all of you guys for being on tonight. Thank you very much. Everybody wave goodbye.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute. And you can also send us an email at Shaun@ShaunStackhouseReacts.com and chrisknight at TheRealReview3000.com. Be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.